Well, class, this is the first video lesson of the course. And in this particular video, we're going to talk about and introduce you to Google Drive, some of its features, how do we get to it, how do we actually log into things. We're going to create a Word document, and we're going to talk about some of the features of that Word document or Google Docs. And then we're going to talk about how do we share that document, how do we find a document that's been shared with us. So first and foremost, we need to be able to access our Google Drive. And as you can see right now, I'm already logged into my Casper College Gmail account. You can see up here that it says Casper College, that I am in my school email account, my work email. You need to be logged into your Casper College email. Whenever you do any of these assignments for this class, you need to log into your Casper College email, complete the assignment using your Casper College email, and share it through your Casper College email. If it is shared with a personal email or a work email, I'm not going to count it for the class. It must be completed using your school Gmail school account. So how do we actually get to Drive? Well, there's several different ways, and I'm going to show you 3 of them in this particular video. The first way is I'm already in my email account right here. I'm going to click on these, what looks like a little square with 9 dots. I'm going to call this the waffle. So I'm going to click on this waffle, and as you can see right below it, it pops up with that tag. It says Google Apps. So I click on that, and then it's going to bring up all of the different functions that Gmail or that the Google Drive system has. So I could go directly to my Gmail account. I could go to my Google account, to my Gmail. I could go to Drive. That's where we're going to go. We're going to click on that icon. But first, let me show you some of the other ones. You can go directly to Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and these are 3 programs we're going to work with. You can go to your Google Calendar. It's got different aspects like sites and contacts. And actually, YouTube is now a part of the Google Drive system. So you could go directly to YouTube as well. You could go to Google Earth. You could deal with Google Forms. These are all different things that we're going to use throughout this class. And then there's different ones also set up. So what I want to draw your attention to is I want you to go click on Google Drive. So once we click on Google Drive, it's going to bring up your school Drive account. And as you can see, mine is pulling up right now. A couple of things about this Google Drive account, whenever you first see it, is you probably have what's called this quick access right here. So all of the documents that you have been working on lately are going to show up right here. This is your first time using your school Drive account. It's probably going to be empty. Then also down here, you can start actually adding folders. Down here, I have all these different folders that I have for the class. And then as we get on, after all the folders, which I have a lot of, it starts bringing in all of the different documents that I have that aren't necessarily in a folder. Now I can change the way that this looks. If I click right here, I can change it from a list view back to a grid view. Yours might show up in a grid view where all of the folders are actually in grids just like this, and then your documents are down here. Me, I personally like it in the list view, so I'm going to chunk that back into list view. It helps me find things a little bit easier. And if you get to be where you're dealing with Google Drive so much that you've got a pile of stuff, you can actually search for things in Drive. So for example, I can search things by what is its name. So I'm going to search the shared document, which it's actually pulling up right here. And that's something that we're going to be dealing with a little bit later. Or I can search by a person. So I'm going to actually search by my personal email. So Tyler Reagan and then here's my personal email. And I could click on that. And it's going to show me all of the documents that I have that my personal email actually owns and that I have actually shared. So I'm going to go ahead and back out or go back to the main Drive screen by clicking this icon. And now I'm back at my main Drive. Now, I said that there was a couple of different ways that you could access Drive. So let's go through a different one. Here's another one. So we're going to actually go through caspercollege.edu. So I'm on the Casper College's main website. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And then under this, just for you, I'm going to click on Current Students. So we click on Current Students. Then I'm going to go log into ClassLink. Here I'm going to enter my username and password. and then it's going to bring up ClassLink. So ClassLink is kind of your hub for everything that you're going to need for Casper College. You're going to be able to find Moodle in there. You're going to be able to find your Gmail account in there, your Google Drive account, as well as Google Calendar, MyCC Info, a lot of those different things that you actually need for Casper College. And whenever it pulls up, we'll go ahead and dive into that particular, the way it looks. Okay, now that we are in ClassLink, mine is going to be looking a little bit different from yours because, of course, I've got some of the employee aspects. But what I want you to find is that Google Drive icon right here. It'll have that same Google Drive icon as what we saw by going through our email. So you can click on that, and that's going to bring you to your Google Drive as well. And there it goes. Now I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this, out of the ClassLink and this new Google Drive, because I'm still logged in over here. The last way I want to show you is by just pulling up Google, just typing in, www.google.com, and it's going to bring up this main homepage. And if you are not logged into Google or not logged into your Casper College email, or if you're logged into your personal one, this may look a little different. So it's still going to say Gmail, images, and it's going to have that 9 little dots. But this right here may say something like signed in. Or it might have your personal email on there if you've logged into that. Go ahead and log into your Casper College email, and then click right here, and then you can again, click on Drive and access Drive that way. So any one of those 3 methods are going to work, as well as there's more methods out there. I'm just showing 3 of them that I find to be fairly easy and fairly useful. So now that we're in Google Drive, and I've shown you a couple of the different things about Google Drive, for this week, I need you to make a folder and then create a Word document and place it within that folder. So I am going to actually click on New, this New button right there, and I'm going to say Folder. So whenever I click on this new folder, I'm going to call it, and what you need to call it is AGRI 1010 N1 dash last name, first name. So I'm going to create this brand new folder, and there it shows up right there, AGRI 1010 N1, and I'm going to double click on it. Now we just created this folder, and there's nothing in this folder yet. Well, let's go ahead and create something. Let's create a Word document and place it in this folder. Again, we're going to go to New. And now we're going to create a Google Doc. So that is a Word document. So we're going to go ahead and notice that I am currently in the folder. I created that folder. Here it is right there. I double click on that folder. It brings me into that folder. And I'm going to create New. And I'm going to create a document, a new Google Docs, while I am in that particular folder. That's a key aspect, to create it while you're in that folder. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to title this. So I'm going to title this, something like my name. I'm just going to give it my name, or I'm going to call it Intro, if I can type. So the first thing you always want to do is give your particular document a title. So I'll show you that again. The way you title something is you just click right there and in that little box, and right now it says untitled document. I want to always give it a title right off the bat, first thing that I do. And the reason for that is if you don't give it a title right away, then a lot of times you're going to get about 5 or 10 or a whole bunch of untitled documents that are going to automatically be saved into your Google Drive, and you're going to have no idea what they are. And you're going to have to go searching for them in order to figure out exactly what are you wanting to find. So always give it a title. Now let's jump back to that Google Drive folder. Here we are, we're in my drive, we're in that particular folder that I just created, and there's that document right there. It is right there. I can double click on it, and it's going to open up that brand new document. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start and by just typing up a couple of sentences like intro introduction. Now this is going to work very similar to a Word document or like a Microsoft Word document, in the sense that I have all these options in this ribbon up here. I can change my font, I can change my zoom, I can make it bold, italics, underlined, none of them, all of them. I can change my text color. I have all these different options. I can center align it just like you would whenever you were writing up something in a Microsoft Word document. This is just basically the Google's version of Microsoft Word. So I'm going to go ahead and type in something. Like, hello, my name is Tyler Reagan. Welcome to the class. Now, something that's pretty cool that Google Docs has added is actually a predictive text. So if I wanted to say, I hope you are having, and you can see that it adds this kind of this grade text. So maybe I want to say, I hope you're having a great day. And it automatically kind of gets that prescription or prescribed text. If that's what I wanted to keep, I can take a shortcut and actually just press tab. And whenever I press tab, it automatically just tabs it over and it just fills in that particular aspect. So I'm going to say, have a great day. Sometimes that helps you write a little bit faster, depending on how much you use Google Docs. It'll start getting those kind of those predictive text going. But the next thing I want to bring to your attention is that all of this automatically saves. So where it says right here, saved in Drive, when it says that, or when it says saved in Drive, that means that everything's automatically saving. So unlike Microsoft Word or Microsoft applications where you have to click File Save or Control S to save that's a hotkey for saving that document, this is automatically saved. Furthermore, it actually tells you a history of it. So if I click right here where it says last edit was seconds ago and open that history, I can actually go through and see the history of it. So I can click right here and that's a blank document. And then at 11:22, I had written that text, and by 11:23, I had written that much, and here's the current version. That works, that history of it is going to actually work very well if you are working on a document with other people, you're collaborating on the document. It's going to show when the other people worked on it. It's going to show when you worked on it, who typed what in, and it really helps out, especially let's say that you're writing up a document or writing a research paper for another class and you're just going, and then all of a sudden you kind of veer off into right field and it took a turn you weren't really expecting. But the first few paragraphs were fantastic, and then you get to like the third or fourth paragraph and it's not quite as good. Or the later in the paper and it's not quite as good. So you want to back up and kind of restore an earlier version. You can actually do that through that history. You can go back and maybe you typed up something that you wanted to go back and see what you typed up, but you deleted it. You can actually do this through this history, and it allows you to see a lot more. But the fantastic aspect about this is this is automatically saved. So as you can see, I never pressed Control S or I never said File Save, anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of it. I'm back in that main document. I'm going to double click, and there's the document back, already saved, ready to go. Now the next thing I want to tell you is how do you actually share this document? Because right now this document is in your Google Drive account. It's yours and it's not shared with anybody. But you're going to have to share it with me in order for me to see it and to be able to grade it. So in order to share that document, I'm going to come up to this big blue button. I'm going to click Share. And right now, it pops up with this little share box. And it says add people and groups. So I'm going to actually type in my name, Tyler.Reagan, at caspercollege.edu. Let me do that again because I kind of typed that in a little quicker than I wanted to. So Tyler.Reagan at caspercollege.edu. You can see down here that it kind of has that predictive aspect. It's telling me that it recognizes that that it thinks that I'm going to type in this, so I can click right there, and I can actually type in a message if I want to. The messages aren't really necessary unless you're going to share an extra credit assignment with me, and go back and read that extra credit assignment for that information. So I click on Tyler. I clicked on my email. I'm going to leave this as notify people. I want you to make sure that it notifies me. And whenever it notifies people, it actually is going to, whenever you type in my email, it's going to shoot, or whenever you type in to share that document with me by typing in my email, and this is clicked as notify people, it actually sends me a separate email. And it says, your name has shared a document with me. That lets me know that you have actually completed that assignment and it's ready for me to grade. So make sure you always share it with me. Click this notify people to where I can see that that document is done and it's ready for me to go ahead and grade it. But we also have a couple of different options. We can have it as editor, commenter, or viewer. If you click viewer, that means that I can just view the document. I can't edit it. If you say commenter, that means that whenever you share it with me, I will be able to log in and add comments and add suggestions and things of that nature, but I can't really actually change the document. The last option is editor. I need you to keep it as editor whenever you share a document with me. This will allow me to actually go in and make the changes necessary in order for me to grade it. So always make sure you share documents to me with this editor icon, or with this editor option, this editing ability. But this viewer and this commenter comes in very handy. Let's say that you are working on a document that you need to share with a friend, or maybe you're going to share it with a colleague, and you don't want them to actually be able to tamper or change anything, but you do want their feedback, you do want their input. So you want them to be able to view it, or maybe you want them to be able to comment on it but not really change it. So you type in my email here to be able to share it with me, click notify people. You can add a message if you want to. I will caution you on adding messages, because if it's shared with me and it's a document shared with me for my class, I'm probably usually not going to look at the messages until I get ready to grade it. So if you're working on an assignment, share that document with me, and if you have a question about that document, send me a separate email, so that way I recognize that, oh, you're not just turning something in, you actually have a question pertaining to this. So send me a separate email with the message of what you're wondering about. Don't necessarily just include the message in here, because I often overlook it. And then you click send. And what that's going to do is that's going to send me an email saying that you shared this document with me, and that that it's ready for me to grade it, and that we can go ahead and grade it. So that document has been added, and it's been shared with me. So another thing I want to bring to your attention right now is we're going to go back into the share icon. And I'm going to share it actually with my personal email account, just so that way we can look at kind of some more options. So I'm going to click on there, and I'm going to give myself editing power. So this is my personal email, so it's being shared with somebody else. Because we are an organization known as a G Suite organization, because all of Casper College Gmail accounts are tied in together, it's known as an organization, this G Suite organization. So if you try to share your document or something from your Casper College account to a personal account or to somebody else's account, it's going to throw up this caution, just asking you to make sure, double checking that. So I'm going to say share anyways. So that's the reason for that. So I'm going to go over here to share, and then it actually gives me a couple of options. I can, for example, say that right now my personal email account is an editor. Well, I can come in here and change that. And I have other options. I can make myself that personal account a viewer. I can change it to a commenter. I can give temporary access. So let's say that you're working on an assignment or working on a document, and you want somebody to be able to go in there and view it, but not indefinitely. You can actually change how long you want them to have access to it. So I can say, oh, I want their access to expire in 20 days. Or I want them to no longer have access to it after the 31st of August. Then I can also remove expiration. I can change those particular aspects. Now for you, whenever you're sharing a document with me, you always need to give me editing ability. So that is kind of a quick, or that's an overview. Really hasn't been very quick, but that's an overview of how you share a document. Whenever you get done with a document, you always need to share that document with me. And do it just the way we talked about. While you're in this document or in that file, you click share. You're going to type in my Casper College email, tyler.reagan@caspercollege.edu. You're going to click share, and that way it sends me an email saying that you're done with that assignment, and I can go ahead and grade that assignment. The next thing that I want to bring to your attention is actually how do you share a folder, because you actually need to share this folder with me as well as this document. So the way that you share a folder with me is I'm going to jump back to my main drive. I'm going to come down to that particular folder, Tyler, the one that we created for this class, and I'm going to click on this little drop down arrow right here. And I'm going to say share. And then, of course, you're going to type in my Casper College email. And then click send. And what that is going to do, and of course, make it editor again. What that is going to do is that's going to share this folder with me. Whenever I have that folder, I'm going to place them all together in a folder for the class. And then I will be able to, anytime you start a document in that folder or place a document in that folder, I'm going to have immediate access to it. What that's going to help out with is if you have a question on an assignment, you can shoot me an email, and then I can go into your folder and actually see that assignment, see that file without you actually sharing it with me. That way I can go in there and look at it and make comments and try to make sure to help you out and answer any of your questions. That being said, even though it will already technically be shared with me through that folder, you still need to share the individual file with me. The reason why is that will send me an email letting me know that you are done with that assignment and that I can go ahead and go in there and grade it. So now that we know how to share this folder with me, we need to, and of course, to share that folder, you click on this drop-down menu, you click share, type in my school email account, and then you click send, and that way I get access to this folder as well. Now, the next thing I want to bring to your attention is what happens if somebody shares a document with you. So, for example, I will be sharing a document with you in this first week, and you need to have access to that document and actually go in there and edit on that document. So, I actually created a document within my personal Gmail account and shared it to my school Gmail account. And I need to go ahead and find that. So, I'm going to go to Shared With Me. I'm going to click on this Shared With Me document. And the shared document is the one that I created with my personal email account and sent it to me. So I'm going to double click on that the shared document. And here I am, and I am in as the Casper College Gmail account. And it says that right here. It popped up letting me know. And I can always hover over that, and it's going to let me know which account that I am currently in. On top of that, it also shows me who else is logged in on this particular assignment or on this particular document. And it actually shows up right there. It says that I'm currently logged in and working on this document with my personal email account. So how does this work? How does this shared document work? I'm going to go ahead and type in. And before I do that, I'm going to actually split my screens real quick to where you can see both documents at the same time. One for my personal and one for my work email. So over here is my work email. This is where I'm logged in under my work email. You can see it right there as I'm logged in under tyler.reagan@caspercollege.edu. Over here, I'm logged in under my personal email, and you can see right there that it's under my personal email. So what happens if I type over here? So first and foremost, as soon as I clicked, you saw that cursor moved. So watch over here, and as I click around on this document, it's showing that my cursor is moving. So if somebody is currently working on the document at the same time you are, you can see where they're working at and what they are typing in. So we can see in real time what other people are working on. Now if I jump over here to my work email, and I'm going to say here is my work email. you can see that it's actually popping up over here on both screens that we are working together. So this is the cool thing about collaborating with Google Drive, is that it allows you to work with somebody else in real time. You can see what they've typed in, what they've done. And I'm actually going to come up here to this open version history, and it shows what have I typed in and what is my personal email typed in. And I know it's kind of confusing because it's the same name in both cases, but you can actually see what other people have done. And this is true across almost all of the Google Drive applications. So that is what sharing a document does, is allows multiple people to work on it. And the way that you find a document that's been shared with you is you simply go to this shared with me aspect of Google Drive. Now, another thing that I want to go ahead and show you real quick is what happens if I create a document outside of the shared folder. So I showed that creating that introduction document outside of the shared folder. Well, I'm going to create a brand new one, and I'm going to title it 0-1 Introduction. And I'm doing it 0-1 because it's going to show up in my drive, and I want to be able to find it relatively quickly. So here is the sample document. Notice, again, I titled it first, and then I went ahead and typed some things in. I'm going to exit out of it. Again, it was automatically saved. I don't need to save file save or anything like that. Then I'm going to scroll down here, and lo and behold, there's that document right there. But I don't want it there. I want it in that folder that I created. I can actually click and drag. So I just clicked, held down my left button, drug it. I'm dragging it all the way up, and I'm going to just place it in my folder. And then it says right here that this document has been moved. I go up, and there's the document right there. Now there's another way to move it. So I'm going to double click on it. And let's say that I want to move it. As it was loading, now you can see this little folder with an arrow key on there. If I click on that, it says that it is currently in this folder, this AGRI 1010N1, the one that we created. And maybe I want to move it out of that folder and into a different folder, this AGRI 1010. So I'm going to click Move. And it's actually going to move that folder. And now if we jump back to that folder that I created, it moves it out of there. So there's multiple ways to actually move these files by clicking and dragging or clicking Move and carrying it over. Now, in this very first assignment, I want you to add a picture. So there's different ways that you can actually add a picture. So for example, we can just simply drag and drop a picture into this document. So I went ahead and split my screens again. Here's my document. I want to add a picture in there. So I've got a picture right here on my desktop of some Casper College pigs, some piglets that we were raising here at Casper College. I'm just going to click, drag, and drop. And it's going to put it right there into my document right away. Another way that you can do it is you can actually go to Insert, Image, and then you can do an upload from computer. So here I'm just going to go to Desktop. I'm going to find that a different picture of a group of pigs or of a piglet. And then I can actually insert it directly from my desktop. Another way that you can do it is you can say actually upload from Google Drive. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to start bringing up some of the pictures that I actually have in my Google Drive. And now that it's pulled that up, I can actually click on one of those. It brings up my recent. I can go to my drive and look for them. Now I'm going to insert a picture of my wife and I, and then I'm going to say insert, and it's going to drop it right in there, right there. I could also go insert, image, and then I could search from web. So maybe I wanted to insert a picture of hay, and whatever the images pull up, I can go ahead and insert images directly from the web as well. So there's different ways to insert images, and it should be pulling up here shortly. And but those are the different ways that you can insert images as well. So some of these videos are going to be this long, some are not. Feel free to pause the video, go back, rewatch it, If you have any questions on anything that we covered, don't hesitate to shoot me an email, give me a call, and so that way we can get you squared away.